Hi there, Chris here, Stock Lock Sunday. So, my most favorite locks recently to pick are these Abloys. And they're very, very fun. But I obviously didn't start out here. And I started out a very, very long time ago. So I didn't start with these, nor did I start with an expensive pick tool. This is where I started. And literally it took me at least a year to figure out, to get the feel in all these things. Most people either get it quickly or get frustrated and give up. So I thought I would go back and show, this is a very cheap Chinese. Anything that says top security or extra security is a really cheapie. Very wide gates, and the no false gates. And I think this one needs to be counter rotated. But these things confounded me forever and ever and ever. But I did start with actually I started with a cheap Chinese, but soon moved to the Sparrows. And I did use these, and I do use them, these little offsets. And this is like, I call this one a 0 because it's kind of fits most of them. Ow. So that's like 3 millimeter. The next size is, I think 4.5. And there's a small millimeter, a small one, it's like 2.3. There's another one, there's 4 millimeter. So for the most cheap ones, the most a 3 millimeter works fine. And I like them. Some people do, some people don't. But you just stick it on your Sparrows pick, and you can have somebody with a 3D printer print it up for you. Of course, we turn everything to the clockwise, and then we align our little pick, and we start picking. So let's see if we can get in, if I can still do this. So remember, we're tensioning off of the first disc, and I think it's not a 0, we'll see. But so everything's, you want to find your alley through here. And so because everything's turned clockwise, we want to start turning counterclockwise. So we come in and we find the first disc. You can see how wide those are. And this one is really gritty and stiff. I turned it down, I'm gonna turn it back, see if I can get a click. That might be good. I'll find the next one. If I can get on it. It took me forever to be able to get on them and then feel anything. Kind of like right now. Let's start in the back here. Okay, if it's gritty all the way through, it's going to be a 0 cut. So that's our key right there. So then you find the next one. And if you look at your key, you can go, okay, it needs to get turned down just a little bit. And both of these, the next two need to get turned down just a bit. So get on it. That's not binding. That's not binding. Maybe I should have started in the other end. This one's binding. And sometimes you have to let off the tension when it's binding really hard. Well, seems to be maybe that zero cut. Well, this is just like when I started out. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. All right, the first one, I can't feel anything. Up. I turned it that way, I got a little bit of core movement. So far we're doing okay. I got a little turn on that one. And a lot of movement. Let's find the next one. It's all the way up. Let's pull it down a little bit. Okay, it kicked loose. Next one, I think this is the zero cut. Yeah, that's grindy, grindy, grindy all the way through. Another thing, it took me forever to, if I blinked and this thing moved, I didn't know where the hell I was. All right, so I think the other two are set. Let's find the last disc. So we'll get on it if we can find it. Maybe that's it. And we're going to counter rotate. Slipped off, which is very usual. Let's try and get on it again. It's right there. Did you hear that little snap? And we got in. So that is a Stock Lock Sunday. Kind of going back on how I learned how to pick these things. And like I said, it was at least a year before I popped any of these easy ones. I kept watching videos and asking people, and after you pop 2 or 3 of them, all of a sudden it starts to slinky. It starts to sink in, but it was literally over 2.5 years. 2.5 years, and then about 3 months playing with this, I did make my practice lock. And practicing, and finally I was able to pop these guys. So if you keep at it, you're going to get there eventually. But you kind of have to keep at it and fiddling. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe. We will see you next time. Have a good Sunday.